Britain is burning. This summer we've seen heat wave after heat wave, bone-dry fields, rivers running dangerously low, and parts of the country literally on fire. Farmers are struggling with their crops, reservoirs are dropping, the whole country looks yellow instead of green. I'm staying at my parents' at the moment in Wales, a part of the country that is famous for its rainfall. Every time I turn up here, it seems to be raining, a fact that my parents constantly disagree with. But look at this. Look how dry the soil is. It just crumbles in my hand. And so the question to ask for a country that's famous for its rain, where has all the water gone? Well, Britain isn't actually running out of water. The problem is that we're running out of fresh water when we need it and where we need it. This summer has exposed just how vulnerable the system is. The water system in Britain relies on fresh rainfall replenishing lakes, reservoirs and streams. And usually that works pretty well. After all, Britain's quite good at getting rain. But climate change is starting to mess with that familiar pattern. Winters are becoming wetter and summers are becoming drier. As the climate heats up, the air can hold more moisture. It's estimated that for every 1 degree of climate change, the air can hold 7% more water. It's like a huge sponge taking water out of the freshwater lakes and reservoirs. But this doesn't help much if all the rain falls in the wrong season or in large bursts that quickly run off into rivers and then out into the sea. And this is where Britain has a problem. The last reservoir in Britain was built in 1992. So the summers are getting warmer with less rainfall, but Britain's water infrastructure was built for a different climate. And then there's all the water that we're losing. Current estimates suggest that we lose around 2.87 billion litres of water a day. That's enough to fill 1,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools every single day. At the same time, demand is going up. More people means more pressure on the water services. New industries, such as new data centres, require more water. And as the weather gets warmer, we inevitably want to use more water. So we're getting squeezed at both sides, an unreliable supply and increasing demand.
Wait.
Planet Earth is a hugely wet
I don't know why
place.
it kept blowing.
71% of the world's surface is water. But most of that is salt water. In fact, 97.5% is salt water, principally in the oceans. That is of no use to us for consumption purposes and quite often cannot be used for irrigation. Out of the 2.5% that is fresh water, most of this is locked up in glaciers, ice caps and groundwater. Only a tiny fraction, about roughly 0.3%, is in rivers, lakes and other water sources that might be considered accessible to us. The good news is that Britain is finally starting to build for a drier future. Water companies are developing plans for 9 new reservoirs by 2050 in places including Lincolnshire, Cambridgeshire, Oxfordshire, Somerset, Suffolk, Kent, East Sussex and the West Midlands. There's also a much bigger push to reduce leaks. The government's water demand plan says public water consumption per person was already 5.1% below its 2019 to 20 baseline by 2024-25, and the current investment programme is intended to accelerate leakage reduction. The government is also trying to reduce household demand. There are plans for 10 million smart water meters by 2030, alongside measures such as water efficiency labelling and improving efficiency standards in new homes. And government strategy is increasingly about both supply and demand. The 2025 National Framework for Water Resources explicitly calls for a twin-track approach. Build new sources of water while simultaneously reducing leakage and consumption. And there's a pretty big investment programme behind all of this. The government says that its plans are backed by £104 billion of private investment money over the next 5 years. The bad news is that climate change and water disruption is happening now. But these are long-term plans, the benefits of which will take 10 years, 15 years, maybe even longer to come to fruition. So things are going to get drier before they get better. And if you like this video or any of the other content on this channel, please do like and subscribe. And together we can try and understand climate change, the environment, and what needs to be done to make the world a better place.